The vision is to get the community involved to open up more Cardano centers, having a footprint for Cardano all over the world.
All right, welcome to the Great Wave, where we are surfing all things Web3. I'm Dave.
I'm D.
And today we have a really interesting guest, Patrick van Rensburg, and he's going to join us and talk a little bit about the work that he's been doing down in Cape Town and beyond with Cardano Centers. Interesting guy, D. We've both known Paddy for many years. And he's got some adventures, so maybe we'll get him to share some of his adventures across Africa and Asia and beyond, and then get into a little bit of what work he's been doing at the Cardano Center down there. How long have you known Paddy?
Wow, we were actually talking about it the other day. I think this year probably marks 18 or 19 years, almost 2 decades of knowing him, and met him the first year that I was in China 18 years ago. So yeah, quite a stretch.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's quite a stretch. I think if we go, we're probably at least 10 years, I think, Paddy and I. So yeah, interesting cat. So let's, anything you want to do to set up this call? We're going to talk about Cardano Centers. Should we have a look at what they've got on, let's have a look at the business there that they've got listed on Splash.
Okay, awesome. So yeah, this is kind of a segment where we're just going to be introducing some of our guests by taking a look at their listing on the Splash Web3 directory. And we'll take a look at the Cardano Centers here. So for those of you that don't know who Cardano Centers are or what they do, there's also a short little video here that I could look to play for you guys.
I think we'll just throw it in the show notes, Steve. Yeah, we'll just throw it in the show notes. It's a couple of minutes, but it's a cool video, isn't it? It's a really good video.
Yeah, sure. No, I mean, it's great for anybody that wants to go get a better idea of what these guys are doing and what their ultimate vision is. Please feel free to go take a look. But this is essentially their listing on Splash. We've got some of their socials here in their website link for anybody that's interested to learn a little bit more about them. And here we can see an event of theirs. It's the 25th of Jan today. And I'm actually going to be attending that event a little bit later, peer-to-peer, a networking event. I'm sure Patrick will tell us a little bit more about that. Looking forward to the beers and crypto chatter. That should be good. Here are a couple of posts. Essentially, they're just using Splash to engage their community and to sort of keep them in the know about what's going on. And also something very interesting is the loyalty token that is associated with their project, which is the Monet Token. And I'm sure that we'll also get into that with Paddy as far as the utility and the application of the Monet Token goes in the center and what visitors to the center can look forward to in terms of redeeming their rewards and what that looks like. They've also submitted a proposal. As far as I understand, it is voting day today. I believe that the Catalyst voting for Fund 11 are going to open within the next couple of hours. So that's very interesting. So hopefully we'll learn a little bit more about Patrick and the Cardano Center's Catalyst proposal. And then just to look at some of their partner communities, the Society, Splash, Curate, also another interesting one. One of our guests that we'll be introducing to you guys in future episodes, but we'll talk a little bit about that a little bit later, and some of the partner apps. That's essentially a brief overview of the Cardano Centers. You guys could visit splash.club and go and click on discover and go to communities and search Cardano Centers to get a nice little overview of who these guys are and what they're trying to do on Cardano. But that's pretty much all from me.
Yeah, all right. Paddy is, I think, waiting in the wings, so let's see if we can get him to join us. There you are, ladies and gentlemen. John Patrick van Rensburg has joined us. How are you?
Good in yourself, guys. Sorry, man.
I see you're ready for fire.
Yeah, no, that's regulation. As soon as I stepped into the center, like, yeah, you need two more than the regulation.
That boy is
because
fire.
Of your face. More signs.
Nice. Very good.
Yeah, and I'm actually
Very
set
good.
in
Well,
the
good
center.
to see you, Paddy. Thanks for.
I'll show you guys. This is the view.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah.
There we are. Well, it's good to see you, man. Thanks for agreeing to do this and joining us live from Cape Town. Dee's obviously also in Cape Town, and I think he's probably going to see you a bit later. But great that we get a chance to chat and really just talk about what you guys have been doing down there in the Cardano Center. But first, I guess I'd love to just let our listener learn a little bit more about your background and sort of, all of us has known each other for quite a few years, and we've had a few adventures. But tell us about your background. You were born and raised in South Africa, right?
Yeah, born and raised in Pretoria, actually, of all places. I left there when I was about 18, went into China. It's also where I met most of you guys way back in the day. Spent a few years there and then did quite a lot of country hopping between there. Spent a lot of time in West Africa, other parts of Africa, Liberia, Sierra Leone, Guinea, Mali, a few other interesting spots. And did all sorts of different scallywaggery and from mining gold to big fishing outfits. Actually met my wife in West Africa as well. And yeah, she's the one who convinced me to come back to Cape Town. I was sort of dead set on never coming back. So yeah, and in between there and just from that and got into marketing a few years back and worked for an agency in Hong Kong, and that's been the gig for the last decade. So,
cool. And you then stumbled into blockchain and Cardano and setting up a Cardano Center. So how do you go from big game hunting and fishing and working all over Africa and mining and forestry and whatnot to blockchain and Cardano? How did that come about?
Yeah, well, interestingly enough, like I got asked to go to Uganda, to Kampala for a blockchain conference in 2016. It was the first one in Africa. And so like I actually went. I didn't have a clue about blockchain then. But I said, "Yeah, it's cool. I can go and rep." And I flew up to Kampala for like a week, and just learned about. This was my first sort of dealings with self-sovereign identity, and they were trying to implement that into a voting system in Sierra Leone at that stage, but it was just way ahead of its time. And spoke to a few interesting people about. This is way before like mass adoption and sort of like the rush of chasing meme coins and stuff like that. So these guys were actually building products to solve issues from the start. And I never got into the crypto space really. And then a few years back, we got approached by Aaron and these guys to start marketing for Web3 based companies and for startups. And just absolutely got stuck in. And they were all heavily invested in Cardano, early adopters, and they said that, there's this Catalyst thing, and about 3 months in working with them. What do you guys think we should do for a proposal? And the first thing that came to mind was, we need more interaction. I need to meet more of these people. And then we sat and we brainstormed and came up with a Cardano Center. And as we were in Cape Town, so this is a good place to start. There's a lot happening in Africa. And we sort of came up with the Cardano Center model. And lo and behold, like community liked it. They voted us in. It was like the dog catching the bus. And like, we don't really know what to do. Now we have to build this place. And it's been a journey, but it's cool. It's really catching on at the moment. So that's how it's a very quick segue into that.
You say you got voted in. So the funding came from Catalyst, right? That first bit of funding that helped you guys get off the ground.
Yeah, we actually we were in the Grow Africa, Grow Cardano sector in Fund 9, and we were one of the highest ever voted in projects. in that category as well. So we got voted in for $100,000 equivalent in ADA, and yeah, in sections and milestones as you go. And yeah, it sounds like a lot, but it's actually, we're still stretching the budget now into the second year. And yeah, so the community liked the idea. We had quite a few people behind us, guys like Raz as well, and the Africa community were like, yeah, this would be cool. It's like sort of a place where we can actually go and meet. So yeah, it was quite popular and fun time. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. And what's the big vision for Cardano Centers? You said that you want to meet more of these people, and that seems to be the idea, is that there's lots of sort of online working groups and chats and town halls and stuff, but you've got a real space there where people are coming together, right? So tell us about that vision and how that's worked out.
Yeah, I mean, like we had to really conceptualize what it needs to be. Does it need to be more cafe? Does it need to be more bar? Does it need to be more workspace? We really didn't have anything to go from, but the vision was like, yeah, we need to get people, educated about, Web3 and blockchain. So the idea is it is a Cardano Center, but the approach is very multi-chain. It's definitely cross-chain because the community is not large enough to niche down on one thing. So we want more people. We want more. So we're collaborating with people from all different blockchains to make this sort of the de facto meetup space and just a verified blockchain Web3 space. Yeah, so it's just been a lot of testing and working, and like it was too much for me. So the vision definitely, like, firstly for me not to do another one because I don't think I'd survive it. But no, I think the vision
because
is
you
like,
built yourself, didn't you? You guys actually did a lot of the construction yourselves.
yeah, we actually conceptualized the whole bar and paint and electronics and everything. Like, we painted the floors, we sealed the floors. They were overquoting on everything. We're like, listen, we're not gonna waste money for the sake of time. So yeah, we just got stuck in. I think I drove like over 6,000 kilometers up and down total in that period of building the place.
Right.
Literally just picking stuff up and getting it delivered. And Cape Town is like, I love Cape Town, but Cape Town is very slow, very, very slow. So like, you'd rather order stuff from Joburg, even if they have an office in Cape Town. So it was a few challenges, but I think the vision is, as we're going into like different funding rounds and stuff like that, is to get the community involved to open up more Cardano centers, make it a sort of a quote unquote franchise model that can be replicated in other areas. It might differ in how it's set up, but in essence, get the training and the education. And we're supported by a stake pool called Able Pool, and they actually have a stake pool, and they're giving us a bit of ADA out of each epoch, and we're using that for education purposes. So really replicating the stuff that works, and going to other areas and having guys set that up. I mean, ideally, sort of a DAO setup if you think about it, where it's just community run. I mean, we never intended this place to be a for-profit thing. We just need to make a break-even model and have it sort of continue on in perpetuity. So that's in general, like just having a footprint for Cardano all over the world in major cities. That'd be amazing. So having these spots that everybody can go and meet up. If you have an event, blockchain or Web3 related, or a meeting or a financial meeting, whatever, it just needs to happen at the Cardano Center.
Right? What's the feedback been like from the other sort of blockchains or other members of the ecosystem or other stakeholders just around Cape Town? Has it been all Cardano all the time, or are you getting interest from other groups?
Yeah, no, heaps of other groups actually. The Cardano community is actually pretty small. There's a bit of a larger contingency up in Joburg, but we've had a lot of guys on Bitcoin and the ETH as well, different projects, some funny meme coins as well. We've been invited to different events, approached by some interesting people. But yeah, it's funny how many people are actually reaching us from, funny enough, from Uganda and Ghana and Nigeria, and like saying like, how did you guys do this? And all multi-chain. So it really varies. It's not specifically Cardano folk coming in here, but you get people coming in from the States and being like, holy shit, this is a blockchain spot, and other than this whole sneakers, this is actually the other one that's actually making it. I know there have been cafes before, but it's planting a flag, which is pretty cool. But it's all cross chain. Everybody's from everywhere is approaching us with different things.
That's totally awesome to hear. I mean, having been to the space myself, having helped to organize an event or two, I can really understand what Patrick's talking about, and just lovely having such an awesome space like that brings everybody together, no matter if they're Cardano or, if there's other blockchains they support. It's really just about supporting the underlying technology and bringing people together for ideation and collaboration. But I also know that the Cardano Center serves beer and food. Can you tell us a little bit about that? What's the story with the cafe side of things?
Man, we had a cooler box and beer in here before anything else, man. Yeah, no, it's actually, we actually have the idea, because it's a destination location, right? Like, we're not going to pay premium to be in the city center without a set concept and everything in place. So we wanted to build a nice bar as well, and more a cafe lounge. Think of it as a sort of a jazz loungy sort of space. So we're actually getting licensed. We've got beer on tap from local suppliers, and we're actually looking at ways to cryptify that as well. And we got great coffee. Actually, the barista is a guy that used to serve me coffee way back in the day when I was like living beachside. And I found him and we just employed we got a great chef actually to run the cafe side, which we'll get into later. But so we got booze, and we got all sorts of stuff. We got events happening, and it's good for the collaboration and fun of it.
Nice.
Good icebreaker.
And you partnered with Curate on the cafe. What's that about?
Yeah, so I mean, Curate is actually the display software we use in the center. It's like I was busy setting it up when we spoke actually, but like you'll see some of the art pieces there. That's done on the Curate software. So we approached them and said, like, why don't you change the cafe, rebrand the cafe in the Cardano Center as Curate Cafe, because then we made a Curate Crypto Cafe specifically for the Web2 application of it, so that it is less esoteric in concept. But yeah, it's okay. So it's a crypto cafe. It speaks a bit more interest and applies to the sort of events and stuff. So we're working out a sort of a licensing agreement with them where we get to use their software in all the Cardano centers. They get in. There's a sort of a revenue share model. We're working out the kinks so we can actually use it going forward at other Cardano centers, but they're amazing in the space and they're doing really cool stuff. So, and we've actually highlighted, we had an inaugural NFT collection out of the center as well. And, using Curate, I can literally curate all the screens here from my computer right here, building different walls and stuff. So
cool.
We thought that the whole Curate concept plays into the area as well, because we're close to Woodstock. It's an artist area. So it's just, and it's the cool guys to collaborate with. So, that's essentially it. So they've done a good job now. And it's really, really coming along nicely.
So it's like a gallery cafe then, right? You've got basically the ability to run a gallery in the cafe, and that sits within the Cardano Center. So you're able to showcase that kind of work and art. Yeah.
Exactly. It's like we're still playing around with that. A lot of artists showing interest. At the moment, we just have these Samsung screens, but we'll definitely, we've pre-ordered some Anywall screens that we're going to send this way as well. And that's a dedicated NFT screen, and they look amazing. We've done some stuff in Copenhagen and all over, as you guys would know, at actual galleries doing digital displays. So really sprucing it up in a way. I mean, we'll figure out the logistics of it, but it's even as is with the screens that are sort of a horizontal view. It's looking amazing because we can switch it up. We've got different artists featuring every week. in the ecosystem, just to try and drum up a bit of life, and getting the conversation going. But yeah, so we're looking forward to having the annual screens in here, because that's going to change the game a bit, other than having just the
those are
sensor
nice.
screen. Yeah, they're amazing. So and that's really bringing that art to life. I think that's going to open up a few doors in Cape Town as well, because we probably get interest to go and do the first Thursdays at the galleries and stuff like that as well. We've had some requests. So yeah, it's really taking a lot of different directions, which is cool. But people are getting more and more interested, even banks, financial institutions, like, yeah, can we do education around blockchain, because we need to educate our people. Now we need to develop that. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah, cool. I think we've got the Anywall guys coming up on a future podcast here.
Oh yeah,
I think in a couple of weeks. So yeah, it's pretty exciting. I think their waiting list is filling up, but they I think they're starting. The rumor is they're going to start delivering in April. So let's hope that
nice.
that happens. I know they're getting ready to deliver the
Oh,
next
that's
line
awesome.
of product.
Yeah.
So
No, we're on needles and pins. Yeah.
yeah. So you've also got a program with a loyalty membership program with the Monet Society, right, or the Monet Group?
Yeah. So
What's that about?
So the Monet Society has a native token, Monet, that's sort of stemmed from using it for creative purposes, and it's evolved into this multi-use token, for all sorts of different things. So we've tiered it now, because we hosted the local Cardano Summit in Cape Town just before the main summit last year in Dubai. And for that, we needed to figure out a system where people could easily register a wallet and receive some tokens and use that. So we partnered with Monet to actually get some tokens. We would gift some tokens like that we added, and we used the Hospice pool system, the POO system, to create QR codes that they can scan when they register a Vespa wallet and immediately claim the tokens. And the idea with that is to have a tiered system with the Monet that, the entry level is just like 1,000 tokens or something, but that gives you access to, different events. It gives you a discount on coffee. You can actually use the Monet to purchase stuff in the center. But it's really is just a system of, actually, we want people to collect and hold, but you can use it across different things. As far as I know, there's a play for it to be used on Curate as well. So it just integrates a bit of the tokenomics into everyday use. So testing out SSIDs and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, so the Monet is essentially, we still have some of the QR codes and the booklets. So if anybody comes in here, we can showcase how easy it actually is. You download a wallet, you scan, they get from that, I think we had 10 ADA on there and 1,000 Monet and a bit of Husky as well. And then that gets claimed, but then they can also stake it. So you're showcasing them how the proof of stake protocol works, and you can get that all done within 5 to 10 minutes. So, and then they're sort of intrigued. So now we're getting people that are non-native to crypto and Web3 and blockchain to actually get engaged. And that's pretty cool. So we want to think of different things how to roll out using the Monet token, because they got a pretty cool white paper, and it's just they've been pretty generous with us. So keep going on that track.
I think sort of the more we can be looking to integrate tokens and blockchain technology into these real world settings and make it easy so that normal everyday laymen, people that aren't familiar with the technology don't necessarily need to understand the technology, but that it works very much like a membership program, right? They get the tokens delivered to their wallet, and those tokens afford them specific benefits at the venue. And I think it's just kind of an easy entry into the ecosystem for all the people that are curious about it. But we also saw that you have submitted another proposal for Fund 11 surrounding the next Cardano Center. Do you mind telling us a little bit more about that?
We actually got some pretty good reviews. I think voting is opening up today on Catalyst, if I'm not mistaken. And shout out to Daniel Ribar and the guys that are doing great work with that. We were actually in Dubai at the summit when they announced that they were moving down voting, and yeah, it got quite a bit of cheers from us. But yeah, so we were speculating where to go with the next Cardano Center, and like I said, we want this to be community run by the local community, and we were thinking Hong Kong, and we definitely want to do a leg in Asia, and so we were torn between Vietnam, Bali, and Hong Kong, and ultimately, with the team and the support from the locals we have in the Bali side and Indonesia, greater Indonesia, and just the general interest there. Because it's not a new concept in Bali, but it hasn't been done by Cardano, and it didn't have this background to work with. So we said, let's assemble a good team there, put in the proposal, and aim to get another center open in Bali. So yeah, we're crossing fingers that can go. There's a good team that side. I have no doubt that they have experience. There's such good support there. So so we're hoping that can be the second leg. We'll see how the community receives it.
Well, we'll put the link to that Catalyst voting proposal in the show notes here. And D, if that gets picked up, are you moving to Bali?
Yeah, no, I mean, after all of the work that Patrick had to go through, I'm pretty sure that I'd have to think more than twice about it. But yeah, setting up in a prime island, digital nomad, exclusive location like that, I don't think it's the worst place to set up a Cardano Center. And I actually know a couple of guys in or building on Cardano that live on the island, so there is definitely a presence there, and as we've seen with the support. So yeah, as you said, Dave, we'll leave the link to the Idea Scale link there in the description, and hopefully when the voting starts, you guys can go and take a look at that and put your support behind it. But on that note, we actually have an audience question, and being that it's the first episode and we're really trying to drum up support and sort of make this a regular thing, we actually went out to our community on Splash, and we actually spoke to one of the moderators, Sicario. He's one of the Discord moderators, and he told him a little bit about who we were going to be interviewing on the show today, and he knows a little bit about the Cardano Center, and his question was quite an interesting one, and I think probably on the lips of many people, on the minds of many people, thinking, well, how can I get involved? How can we sort of spread this idea of collaboration and physical spaces around the world? And he wanted to know, how does one get involved with the Cardano Center? When can a Cardano Center be opened in a specific city? How can I apply for it? What are those kind of steps look like?
Yeah, that's a great question. And it's we've actually had quite a few people reach out to us from different areas saying, like, even Canada and the States and Paris, saying, like, how can we replicate this? But part of our deliverable for the first one as a final milestone, was to put out a business plan, and we made that open source. So what we want to do is sort of keep building on that. But anybody can reach out to us. It's all about collaboration. If anybody has an idea, they want to set something up outside of Catalyst, like funding and want to get like a setup there, we're open for anything. Like I said, we just want to grow this. We're not in it for creating a massive business out of it, or in that respect, the community needs this. So if anybody's interested, they can always reach out to us at admin@cardanocenters.io. That's like the easiest way to reach. Like, maybe you guys can add a link in there. And now we've got Curate Cafe as well. And that's just hello@curatecafe.com, I think it was. But yeah, it's we keep telling people locally as well. Anybody that wants to get involved with anything, like you want to host an event here, you want to do a collaboration, we're open for any of it. Because the more events, the more people, the more training as well, stuff that we can do. And setting up network nodes like we're doing now for AblePool as well. It's like we're open for anything. You want to come put up a poster? Let's chat about it. We understand and know, like, the whole ethos behind this was we need to break down the barriers between different chains, and like I hate your chain, I hate your chain. Like, it's like we're all sort of vouching for the same thing. So if anybody wants to reach out, just reach out to us. We've had some cool conversations. We're having an event tonight as well. I don't know, like we probably want to chat about that, but it's called Peer to Beer. That was aptly named by our resident chef now, Chantel. And he's actually also going through the whole Web3 journey. And we're going to do that on the regular on every last Thursday of the month. But we also, there's the Bafana youth guys that reached out to us that are actually doing sort of fundraising through blockchain as well for a local project in South Africa. They're based in Germany. And he reached out to us and said, how can we facilitate this? Like, well, why not make the space available? Like, we can help with some, drinks and stuff like that, and just do a nice evening for all your fundraising efforts and stuff like that. So, yeah, people are reaching to us from different chains and like thinking up cool ideas. So it's it's cool to see people are sort of warming up to it a bit more now. Even though it says Cardano Center, they're like, yeah, we can dig it.
Yeah, well, that's it sounds like the good word is getting out, and we'll do our best to help get the good word out as well. We will put links to the Catalyst proposals, websites, and your email address into the show notes, Paddy. And I know you've got a big night ahead of you with the first Peer to Beer, so we'll let you go and sort of get into the preparations for that. I'm sure it'll be a good time. I've seen photos from some of the other parties, and they look like a great time. So I can't wait till I can get down there and join in. So thanks very much for joining us, mate, and we'll talk to you again soon, eh?
Awesome, thanks, guys. Yeah,
see you later, Paddy.
Okay,
and good luck. Thanks for having me. Cheers.
See ya.
Well, there you go. That's Patrick van Rensburg. So you're going to go by tonight, are you? You're going to go to the Peer to Beer?
I am going to go. It's a dry Jan for me, so I hope they have stocked some non-alcoholic beverages there. But I'm going more for the conversation and the community. And I mean, I've been to a couple of events at the center, and you meet new people every single time you go. And as I said, it's not just Cardano focused, even though that's the name of the center. It's crypto focused, right? Just bringing everybody together. We can all learn from one another. So yeah, looking forward to that. I'll be there a little bit later on this afternoon.
Awesome. That sounds good, man. Well, look, that was an interesting episode. Obviously, there's a lot going on there with the Cardano Center in Cape Town, the events they're doing there, with the Curate Cafe and that collaboration with the Monet Token and that loyalty program that they have. And then, of course, the upcoming Catalyst proposal for a center in Bali, which would be great for me. It's pretty close to where I am. I could fly up in just a few hours and hang out at the Cardano Center there. And I know you quite love Bali as well, so we'd be able to hopefully catch up there sometimes. But what do we have on for the next episode? We've got an interesting one lined up. It's related to this one, isn't it?
We do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do. And aptly curate the platform. So obviously, Paddy was just discussing the Curate Cafe with the whole gallery feel that they have at the center there. And we're going to be interviewing Mr. Aaron Arfman, who is representing Curate. And Curate is an NFT first digital display program and hardware solution with the Anywall Partners, helping collectors and galleries, take their digital art creations to new heights in terms of display, and really just bringing that whole experience together. I mean, as we know in Cardano, options are pretty limited. So seeing another player like this come out with a sort of turnkey solution from the software to the hardware, empowering creators and collectors and gallery curators at the same time is quite an interesting thing. So yeah, that's what we'll be doing next week. And then I'd like to say that we will be sharing this, this podcast on our various social channels as well. But we're going to invite the community to, ask us a couple of questions. We're going to reveal who we will be interviewing every single week at the start of the week, releasing that on our social media channels, and then asking the community to start leaving their comments and questions that we can put to any of the guys that we're interviewing on the show. And a sneak little peek, we will be finding ways to work the Monet token into audience interaction and participation in the coming episodes. So stick around for that. I think, if you're an early adopter, there's definitely incentives to be had for joining in on the conversation and learning with us as we continue through this journey.
Yep, that's it, man. And so full disclosure, we all part of that whole Monet network, which is a really interesting group. So the Monet Token is something that we're pretty excited about. And we're looking forward to speaking with Aaron and hearing all about the Curate platform. They are starting with Cardano. They got some really amazing artists on there, but I know they're going cross-chain. I think second quarter this year, they're going to start to deploy cross-chain capabilities there with other wallets and other chains. So awesome. Well, thanks, Dee. Thanks very much. And thanks to our listener for hanging around and listening to The Great Wave.